Many people were shocked and horrified this week by what happened on the M9 motorway early on Sunday morning.
5 teenagers are dead. They were in a BMW which was being driven the wrong way down the motorway when it collided with a Hyundai carrying 3 sisters and a young boy.
The innocent victims of such reckless driving all suffered serious and critical, even life-changing injuries. Yet, the 5 teenagers were not the first to be involved in this kind of driving, which seems to be increasing.
So, what's leading to this kind of criminal behaviour and what needs to be done to change it? That's what Sarah Burke has been trying to understand.
We reviewed dozens of videos, and there are certain trends clear within them. What you get in these videos is images of young men stealing cars using flathead screwdrivers, pliers and vice grips.
This is so real.
Once they're inside the cars, they record videos. Some even appear to seek the attention of Gardaí. They will show flashing blue lights in rearview mirrors and taunt Gardaí about the pursuits. Often they will boast to their followers about getting away. The videos are posted typically on TikTok and Snapchat, apps used often by people in their teens and 20s. What is interesting is they don't actually receive huge engagement. Often they get less than 200 likes or a few dozen comments. But it appears that it encourages a cycle in which the people in the cars do more and more extreme things. Many drive at high speeds. Online, we regularly saw videos of people driving above 170 kilometers an hour. Others drive dangerously through traffic. This type of weaving is seen constantly in these videos. And most outrageously, some are driving the wrong way down motorways, resulting in the collision on the M9 last weekend, but also terrifying near misses, like this one on Dublin's M50. A small group of young people are doing this, and a certain amount of others are following, commenting and encouraging it online. It seems to a significant extent, as it has been in the past, that the car theft and joyriding is a social outlet for those involved. But it's a social outlet putting other people's lives at risk. 4 people were hospitalised with serious injuries following the M9 incident. Another man was hit in a similar collision on the M50 just a week before. And in Carlow in July, a motorcyclist was hit by a stolen pickup truck driven by a group of teens who mounted the footpath while fleeing Gardaí. And these are just the incidents we know about. Over the coming months, Gardaí are set to receive specialist training on vehicle pursuits to try prevent anything like that happening in future. But policing something like this will be difficult. Often, the Lucky Dip gang is referenced when discussing these incidents. But the theft, the speed, the driving the wrong way on the motorway, this is as much a subculture as a crime organisation. And it has been happening elsewhere too. Here, there's no clear leader. It's a dispersed set of individuals. They seem to meet up and target certain areas at random.
Man told us watch and learn, whip it properly.
It all comes with its own music, hashtags and imagery. Mainly, it seems it's being done for social status. It's about clout, not money. So, how do you tackle something like that? There's no easy answer here. The reality is, many of the people posting this footage have been linked to dozens of crimes. That's the big problem for anyone trying to address this. How do you change the mindsets of teenagers that don't want to listen, engage, or take responsibility for their actions, which this week, again, have had horrific, tragic, and life-changing consequences?
Let's try and answer that question on which Sarah Burke just finished. We're joined now from Cork by Pat Leahy, former Assistant Commissioner of An Garda Síochána, and here in studio is youth worker Eddie Darcy. Good evening to you both. I might start with you, Eddie, and that's what Sarah posed there. How do you change the mindset of a teenager who doesn't want to listen? Is there a positive answer to that question?
Well, Fran, I'm a youth worker for 40 years, and 30 of those years were in West Dublin, where obviously we did have our own issues around serious joyriding and escalating joyriding. And then the last number of years in the southwest inner city. And one of the programmes we developed there is a programme called RUA, where we went out to try and target the most serious offenders in those particular communities. And these are young people that the Garda system has already indicated are unsuitable for diversion and are before the courts, and some of them, or many of them, would have a considerable number of convictions. And I think we've managed to prove that it is possible to engage those young people, it is possible to influence them, and it is possible in many cases to I suppose, support them to make the right sort of decisions. And this isn't about letting people away with crime. This isn't about interfering
I
in
suppose
the system.
Many viewers might say, right, you worked on this in Rolandstown and
Yes.
Neilstown. There was a huge issue in the Clondalkin
There
area.
was indeed,
So
yeah.
if there is a solution and if something does work, does it surprise you to see that we find ourselves here now again?
Well, I suppose what has happened sort of maybe focused people's minds, and there's been a number of a near tragedy on the M50 and a really serious tragedy obviously last week. There was another incident this morning, a car being driven down the wrong side. So obviously, you know, because serious incidents happen, doesn't mean to say that young people are going to change their behaviour, you know. But for me, and I think it was alluded to in the report, it is still a relatively small number of young people involved in this activity. And I believe if those young people are targeted, and there are resources there already that could possibly target them, but they're known to the Gardaí. You ask any of the lads on the regular in any of those areas, they will name the young people involved. But I just think they need to be specifically target those named individuals. And secondly, maybe the fringe group around that was alluded to in the report as well. They also need to be targeted because they will be the joyriders of the future if there isn't an intervention now.
Pat Leahy in Cork, we've seen a report on RT News this evening that one of the young men involved in this incident on the M9 was in the care of Tusla. How big an issue is it that many of the people involved are under 18 years of age?
Hi Fran, hi Eddie.
Hi.
It is an issue, and it's a significant issue. But I suppose what we have to remember is this didn't happen overnight. This is something that has been going on for years and years. And while we look back to the 80s and the early 80s to the mid 80s to find a previous home for this, it actually was happening between then and now. It has spiked several times over the last number of years, and Eddie's absolutely right. Generally speaking, it's a small enough cohort that take it to extremes. And in the past, we've had conversations about, you know, Spike Island was opened up for them and it had such an effect. It wasn't much of an effect, actually, with Spike Island, and that there was a task force activated in Dublin for it at the time, again in the mid-80s. And legislation was changed when, you know, taking a car without permission became an indictable offence. So look, these, I suppose, responses to it have all been tried before, and Eddie is right. There is potential there to, I suppose, activate search and arrest operations for the people that are known, are identified, or possibly already out on bail, or they have failed in the diversion programme. But I do think there's a couple of new aspects to this now, and the one big one for me is they have an audience. They're uploading live feed and people are watching it. And until we can deal with that, I think a central element of this that's attracting them to engaging in this harmful behaviour is not going to be effective. So it's a bit of a wicked problem for us, and it's our first time dealing with it in terms of the platforms. And I think what we saw today with one of the platforms refusing to meet with the Dáil committee, they're showing their power there now in what is a problem that is affecting the citizens of the state. They're saying, no, we won't answer. We're not coming in. Yeah. And it is the new aspect to this that is giving people their audience. So I do think we need to take a hard line on this and see how it affects it. Did you want to come in there, Eddie?
Well, just Pat, in fact, there's always been an audience. When the serious issues arose in West Dublin in 1990, 91 to 92, the audience was a live audience. It was, 80 or 90 young people standing along the roads whistling on the stolen cars. And the behaviour escalated into attacks on the Gardaí, attacks on the fire brigade, and attacks eventually on public property. So, the joyriders, when they escalate, always have played to an audience. That's what it's about. It's about showing your
so you can't blame TikTok or you can't blame
well,
social media.
I think what has happened is obviously that has made it much more difficult because it isn't just about a physical audience, it's about a nationwide audience.
I know what you were saying, Eddie, about kind of community involvement and tackling the people who are a problem, but there was one newspaper report this week which suggested that one of the young people involved in that crash was a main suspect in 80% of car break-ins in Limerick.
Sure.
In anyone's language, that spells somebody who knows they can get away with it.
Yeah, I suppose to be fair, eventually the system catches up with quite a few people, but there can be a considerable amount of time between receiving charges and eventually that being dealt with by the courts and possibly ending up in Overstown. We know the prison system is under huge pressure. We know Overstown is under huge pressure. And in fact, heavier sentences and coming down hard on crime, which people often ask for, throw the key away brigade, doesn't really work because it isn't a deterrent for young people coming into that activity. So really, they don't think when they're going out they're going to be killed or they're going to kill somebody or they're going to be caught by the guards and serve 5 years. That's not in their head.
Do you think that's an issue, Pat Leahy, that people know they can get away with it, in particular younger people?
I do indeed. And I don't disagree with Eddie at all in what he says. And I've worked closely with Eddie over the years. But what has happened for me, one of the key elements of this is that we introduced the diversion programme many years ago. And it has been very effective in certain areas and with certain individuals. But there's a significant cohort that have been abusing that for decades now. And the problem is they feel like they're immune to prosecution or facing up for what they're doing, and they're coming through the system and they're getting back into it time and time again. So they're walking around and they're terrorising on foot and in cars towns and villages across the country. So I do think that is one of the areas that we need to explore. I think we need to have a deeper discourse about that we need to deal with them when we know who they are and we have them within our grasp. But now, unfortunately, there's a cohort out there that feel like they're immune to prosecution. They're immune to being held accountable for what they're doing. So we do have to address that. And but I do think that the audience piece has changed significantly. They have a worldwide audience now. That's the difference that they have. And I agree with Eddie. I remember standing on the side of the road or driving through those crowds when they were cheering them on in the 80s. But it has changed significantly. And this live feed, that has to be addressed. So I think it's really, really disappointing when you see the hosting companies for these refusing to come in and speak to a Dáil committee in relation to it and suggesting that they're doing their best and they're catching a lot of stuff but they can't catch all of it. It's just not good enough. It's not a good enough answer for us. They shouldn't be hosting. They should take away that facility if they can't manage it.
All right, Pat Leahy in Cork and Eddie Darcy here in studio. Thank you both for speaking.